Video games just made Wall Street history.
Video game maker Electronic Arts announcing a $55 billion deal to go private.
It's the largest all-cash sponsored take-private investment in history.
Because we can go to summer camp.
This is the Saudis taking control of EA.
Oh, I have been waiting for a water slide in this game for what feels like forever.
Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law.
He was referenced in this press conference just in the last couple hours.
Okay. And adults can use it too. Oh my God, I love that.
Some of the worst people have completely acquired Electronic Arts.
Is anyone else tired? There's this old saying, how does it go? Fool me once, shame on... You're so dumb. Shame on you. The Sims 4's army of influencers dropped their early access videos for the game's 20th expansion and 100-something overall DLC. And I'm not impressed. Neither is EA. In fact, they're so unconvinced by the quality of their own products that they're literally selling the company. But before we dive into this mess, thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Cozy season is upon us, and there's nothing better than getting lost in an amazing game with a cup of hot cocoa and your silicone doll Stacy by your side. I don't think I was supposed to read that part out loud. Instant Gaming has an assortment of great games for sale, including new releases like Silent Hill F, which is already 30% off, and classics like The Sims 4 Sleek Bathroom Kit. Oh, okay, who wrote this? Instant Gaming is a fast, easy, and secure way to get the best deals on video games. So use the link in the description and find a game to fall into this cozy season. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. So at this point, anybody who tries to convince you that a Sims 4 DLC is worth it, those are the ops. No shade to any of these creators. But when you see someone do this 100 times, it kind of starts to feel like deja vu. And look, if this were the 5th expansion, I might believe that their giddiness and enthusiasm for this pack is genuine. But weren't they giddy and enthusiastic about all the other 100 DLC? These people will hype the hell out of the pack and convince you that it's the next best amazing thing and it's going to change your game, but when players eventually get their hands on it, it's nothing of the sort. In fact, this DLC is so bland that during the live stream showcasing the pack, viewers started throwing tomatoes at the live chat. That's not a good thing. And yes, the Sims team deleted those tomatoes. How dare they? Well, they deleted everyone's tomatoes. Also, what the hell is this?
What the hell?
Don't buy packs for a broken game, folks. So on to bigger news.
Electronic Arts, the maker of Madden, The Sims, EAFC, and Battlefield, is going private in a $55 billion deal. That's set to be the biggest leveraged buyout ever.
I'm sure some of you have heard the recent news that Electronic Arts is being acquired by a consortium of investors. And while this news kind of came out of nowhere, I can't say I'm surprised. EA has been trying to sell to another company for years. They've courted offers by Apple, Disney, Amazon, Comcast, to name a few. But I think the primary reason that this particular deal is so enticing to them is that it means EA will go private. EA has been stuck in this endless cycle of continuous growth. So they're forced to rely on games like Madden, FC, formerly known as FIFA, Skate, Battlefield, The Sims. But these are 15 and 20-year-old franchises that EA is relying on for continuous growth. That is not sustainable. And at the same time, this is a lot of pressure. So beyond a few games here and there like Split Fiction, EA hasn't really done anything new in recent years. And that's because they're risk averse. They need to appease their shareholders, and they do that by resting on their laurels. So that's why this concept of going private, where they wouldn't have to answer to shareholders every quarter, is so appealing to them. Now, Sims Twitter and Sims Reddit kind of crashed out when they heard about who is going to be buying EA.
I can't.
Because among the buyers are Donald Trump's son-in-law.
One of them was started by Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law.
He was referenced in this press conference just in the last couple hours.
So I guess he's a big video game fan, and his well, actually, I don't know that for sure, but
and Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund.
This is the Saudis taking control of EA.
To be clear, I am absolutely not a fan of this deal. I don't think it's good for players. I don't think it's good for employees of EA, and I don't think it's good for video games. Period. I mostly saw a lot of people expressing worry about The Sims and diversity representation. again, a lot of comments were saying, well, there goes LGBT Sims. The Sims community, you guys know the website, they did this whole article where they discussed Saudi Arabia's mistreatment of gay people and how it could affect the game. Look, it would be great for my views to sit up here and say, this is the end of diversity in the Sims. You can't make any more gay furries, you freaks. But that would be disingenuous as hell. Let me be so clear right now. These investors have zero interest in proscribing LGBT gameplay from The Sims 4. They do not give a damn about your gay Sims. Their only interest, just like EA, is making money. Now I understand why some people might be worried about Jared Kushner, whose venture capital firm is also part of this buyout. Coincidentally, the Saudis actually fund his firm, and seemingly they're the only thing keeping it afloat. I understand if you don't want to support a company or companies run by people who don't value basic human rights. I completely support anyone who wants to boycott this game because of the new ownership. I myself will continue doing just that and advocating on behalf of players, as I've been doing. But realistically, they're not interested in removing features from The Sims 4. It's just not practical or logical from an investor's perspective. And by the way, the same Saudi fund already owns 10% of EA. They have investments in Capcom, Nintendo, Take-Two, and Activision. It hasn't stopped any of these game companies or any other company they've invested in from having LGBT representation or valuing diversity. Again, they just want to make as much money as possible. And to be honest with you, that should be the least of your worries as a Sims player. The quality of The Sims 4 as a product, the continued monetization, and the overall future of The Sims are really what you should be concerned about. Because I don't think they give a damn about The Sims. Their primary interest is the sports division of EA, which is the most lucrative. So if you really care about the future of the Sims franchise, now is the time to show that. But most importantly, to put your money where your mouth is. Something a lot of people in the Sims community have been very reluctant to do for the last 11 years. There's already been so much misinformation and people saying, oh, but we're good until 2027, it doesn't matter. No, they said fiscal year 2027, which is literally next year, bro.
In the release, it can be a bit confusing. It says it'll close first quarter of fiscal year 27. But that really means second quarter of next year.
There's no putting it off until the deal goes through. You have to act now.
So Lil Simsy actually commented about the EA purchase.
The Sims 4's most popular content creator, Lil Simsy, made a post expressing concern about the buyout and the new owners.
Here's what she says. The Sims has been a very inclusive game for a long time, and it horrifies me to think of them rolling back any of that progress or somehow censoring the game. Making a change like that would alienate the entire player base of The Sims, and I think it would be an incredibly stupid and short-sighted move from the new investors that would backfire heavily.
But my question to Lil Simsy is this: do your words really mean anything if you continue promoting this game? If you continue to remain in the creator network, if you continue taking sponsorships and taking gifts from a company whose owners have values that are diametrically opposed to your own. If you continue promoting this game, then that means your words are empty and this is just performative nonsense. But anyway, you go girl.
You go girl, like you go girl. That is some strong opinions, and I like to see that.
So what does all this mean for the broader future of EA and the Sims franchise? Well, there's a few different things that could happen. Number one, nothing could happen. It could very well just be a change in ownership only, and the corporate structure, the corporate leadership, like our beloved Andrew Wilson, will remain in place. The second option, and this is a more positive outlook, this could actually encourage EA to take more risk. As I mentioned earlier, as a public company, EA has really had to focus on meeting those short-term quarterly goals in order to appease shareholders. But as a private company, they can think more long-term. So they could very well start developing new IP, or bring back some game series they abandoned in the past, or overall just give more resources to some of their current IP. Third option, these new owners could take a look at EA's current lineup of games and choose to streamline or cut out the IP that isn't performing to their standards, which could result in layoffs and cancellations. It could also mean the quality of some games suffers, or that other games have increased monetization. Now, the fourth option. As we sometimes see with businesses that are absorbed by these private equity firms, it is possible that a few years later, the new owners could start splitting up EA, the company, and selling it off piece by piece. Again, I don't think this would happen in the near future, but it's a bit more risky, and if they don't see the return that they need, they could start selling off parts of the company. So looking on the bright side, this acquisition could mean that EA as a private company has more opportunities to try new things, to innovate and take risks. It also means they could invest more resources into games like The Sims 4 or potentially begin production on a Sims 5. And the worst case scenario is that we could see the end of some of EA's studios and their games. So my perspective is this deal is neither the savior nor the destroyer of The Sims. That power has always rested in the hands of you, the players. And luckily, I've noticed more and more people appear to be waking up and speaking out about the dire state that this franchise is in.
It doesn't even work. It'd be one thing if I was getting nickel and dime and it worked. I'm getting nickel and dime and also the stuff doesn't work. And so I think a lot of people have just grown up, fully understand the power of a dollar.
People are upset with The Sims, from corrupt save files to recurring bugs and glitches to just the overall lackluster content in the packs.
I have a lot of criticism to aim at EA and The Sims 4 as a whole. I genuinely think that the over DLCification of this game has gotten completely out of hand.
Well, not everyone. The other day I saw a tweet by an EA partner who said, "When The Sims 4 comes together and finally becomes what the players want it to be, I wonder what the people who made a whole brand out of hate farming is gonna do. LMAO." Okay, I'm sorry. When it comes together, if it hasn't come together at this point, it never will. But I guess when you're someone who has been handed wads of cash and gifts by EA, you can afford to be this delusional. And with EA's sale to these unsavory investors, I'm actually really curious to see what happens with this horde of influencers who have profited handsomely off of this game for the last 11 years. We're really gonna start to see some true colors here, especially considering that so many of them proclaim to value diversity, yet with the sale, the company whose product they're promoting is kind of working against that. Look, if you want to be an influencer and get your bag, that's great. If you want to be excited and make 100 videos hyping up DLC for a game, go off. But don't play pretend, okay? Don't mislead people, and don't be fake. At this point, the influencers who refuse to acknowledge how bad things really are with this game, how despicable the monetization is, how low effort the product is, they've all played a role in this game's collapse. If you're a player and you love this game and you want to spend your entire paycheck on it, do you? But the players and the influencers alike should not try to normalize what's happening with this game. It is complacency that got us here, with The Sims being milked dry and EA being sold to private equity. Enough of this bullshit. So that's why you have to stop buying DLC. And we have to start questioning the things our favorite beloved Sims YouTuber tells us. And we also have to stop mindlessly giving this company our money. And yes, for some people who have invested a decade's time and $1,500 into this game, this realization can be a tough pill to swallow. Actually, I have a special request for the new owners of EA. Just an idea. Let's break up the EA Creator Network once and for all. Yup. I feel like that might actually do some good. Wait, no, I didn't mean it. It's